Hello, good morning. I just thought I'd show you this. There we go. I'm just really happy with that. Hello. So, we're on to another one of my thoughts on a lovely summery day. I know we're in autumn, stroke winter, but it's today is a beautiful day. Cheers. Yeah, beautiful. Not long back from doing the usual up at the field with my little boy. He's fine, he's having a little nap. I've just been in to see him. He's tired, but then so am I. Right, so this is from somebody called Paul. Another one of my thoughts. Now he says, shyness, he started. He said, shyness. Well, my name's Bry. Shyness. Your thoughts, please, Bry. Although this isn't a great problem to me anymore, I am a deeply shy person, which I think is ridiculous considering that all my family are outgoing. It isn't a great problem to me anymore. It might be a little bit of a problem to you because you've asked my thoughts on it. So perhaps, anyway, whatever. So shyness is endearing. Shyness is a wonderful, beautiful quality of people. That's what I think. We live in a world where it's quite an egotistic, kind of narcissistic world in many, many respects. And when we meet somebody who's shy, for me it's refreshing. It's endearing, it's nice, it's a lovely, lovely quality of somebody. I think people that are shy are more themselves than anybody else. That's what I think. So shyness, I don't see shyness as a problem. I mean, the only time shyness is a problem, there's a lyric by Morrissey from the Smiths. Shyness is nice, but shyness can stop you from getting all the things in life you want to. If that's the problem, that shyness stops you from doing or going or getting what you feel you want to get or achieve or whatever in life, then yeah, it's a problem. And in that case, there's an old saying, isn't there? Fake it until you make it. And that's very true, because if you look around at a meeting that you're attending at work and you've got your boss and you've got 20 people around you or whatever, and you sit there and you're feeling shy, maybe your boss is also feeling shy, and maybe some of those people, if not all of them, are also feeling shy. It's just that they mask it, they fake it until they make it. They mask it a little bit better. I worked years ago, it doesn't matter where, but I mean, my boss, he used to use 100 words where he could use 1, and 1,000 where he could use 10. And he was boring to talk to. And we used to have a meeting, yeah, I think 4 a year. I think every third month we'd have a meeting that would go on for most of the afternoon. And literally most of the afternoon, maybe 3 or 4 or even 5 hours, it would go on and on and on. He'd drone on about rubbish, really, and he lost everybody. There was one particular time I remember, I'd been there for a while and everybody knew me and all the rest of it. And I just happened to be in his office a day or two before the meeting and was just chatting about something. And he said, do you know what? I haven't formally welcomed you within the team. And I said, well, it's not a problem. And he said, oh, I must do that. I'll do that at the meeting. So I said, yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, it didn't really bother me whether he did or not. But anyway, he was doing the meeting and it was Christmas Eve, right? And we were allowed to finish as soon as the meeting was over. So therefore, nobody wants to be at that meeting. Nobody's paying attention. everybody's kind of, right then, are we ready? Is that it? You know, like that every 5 minutes. And he had like 4 points to cover, but he deliberated so much over these points. And I looked at him and I thought, why does he talk this way? Why does he just talk and talk and talk? And I thought, is it a form of shyness? Is he feeling nervous or anxious? You know, even though he's the boss, he's a big boss man, is he doing that to alleviate some pressure within himself? If he just talks, then he'll be okay. Has he taught himself that over the years? Anyway, these 4 points he kind of covered in the first 5 minutes, so that was fine, and we could have gone home. Then he deliberated each point, and he kept going back, and it was boring. I'd lost the plot, and I'd stopped listening, really. And I was kind of looking out the window, and I thought it was mild, and I thought, God, it's mild for this time of year. I can't remember the year, but on the 16th of December, I do remember, because it was a friend's birthday, and we were outside in a t-shirt, 16th of December. It was a hot, sunny day. And of course now it's Christmas Eve, and I'm looking out the window and I'm thinking, God, it's so mild, and thinking about the weather and about different Christmases and what have you. And I sort of half heard my name. I looked over and he said, so I'd like to formally welcome Bride to the team. And I said, oh, thank you very much. Nice to be here. Something like that. And that was the end of that. It wasn't a great problem. But I did think about my boss. Is he just rambling on and on and on because he's nervous or shy, or whatever you want to call shyness, whatever shyness may be? And quite possibly he was. Then many years went by, and a friend of mine came to me. I was working in a totally different place, and she said, you know the bloody meeting? So I said, yeah, that's tomorrow. They're going to mention me. And I said, oh, that's nice. She said, no, bloody end. Oh my God, I'll die. And I said, why? Why would you die? You know? And she was in exactly the same situation as I was in. She'd been working at this particular place for some time, and this was the first time they'd had a meeting after she'd been there for however many months. You know, everybody knew her, everybody had worked with her and all the rest of it. But it came to her, and I could see throughout the meeting she was just on edge. Absolutely hated it. And the lady in charge said, anyway, I'd like to welcome Pauline to the team. I know this woman's been here for a while, you know. And she was so nervous and embarrassed and awkward and whatever, and I felt so sorry for her. But later on that day, I said to her, see, I said, it was nothing to worry about, was it? And she said, no. She said, so-and-so said that in the meeting she also said blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, that's right, and we're doing this and we've got to do that. And she said, what's this? She said blah, blah, blah. And it appeared that my friend hadn't heard anything, not a thing, about the meeting, because she is so shy, she was just listening for her name. It's a funny situation, isn't it, shyness? If it can stop you like that, then yeah, it's a problem. But everybody's that I've met in life, everybody is a bit of an introvert and a bit of an extrovert at the same time. You know, children, young children, 3 or 4 or 5-year-old children, you see them running around, they don't care, they are true extroverts, they are just themselves. But somehow we learn to step back inside ourselves when we're 12, 13, 14. You look at a 3-year-old who's running around, they don't care. You look at a 13-year-old that's got to stand up and read a paragraph out of a book in front of a class of children that he knows, or she knows. And, you know, they feel awkward and embarrassed and what have you. Now, shyness, it could be the awkwardness. It could be that you get embarrassed or that you blush. It could be an anxiety problem. It could be lots of different things. If you've got any public speaking to do, what I would say is to know what you're on about. know your stuff, you know, and it just flows. It's just easier. I've done a lot over the years, a lot of sort of teaching and counselling and things like that, where I've had to, all sorts of things. I had to chair meetings for a couple of years. I can't remember how the first meeting went. I didn't worry about it too much because I knew what I was going to say. I knew my stuff. So there was no, because I'm a shy person to an extent, to a degree. I'm a shy person, you know, most of us are, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of endearing. Saying that, of course, I can stand up in front of a group of 40 or 50 people and have my say, only because I know what I'm talking about. If I didn't know what I'm talking about, then yeah, the nerves can set in and all the rest of it. But I'm not going to stand up in front of people and worry what they think about me, or worry that they may be judging me, or, well, worry about anything. I'm not going to worry. Worry, why worry, you know? The lessons I've learned in life, one of the big lessons I've learned in life is not to give a shit. Right? Don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. You know, you are employed and you are not your job. You can move on at any time. You're employed. You're their slave for a few hours and they give you a few quid. And if they expect you to do something and it's really beyond you, say, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this public speaking. I find it awkward and embarrassing. I won't do it. Say that. You're not going to get the sack. It's not part of your job. I find that most places I've worked for, they just put on people. They just expect people to do whatever, you know, and that's wrong. It's really wrong. But not to give a shit, really. I find that most people that I've met in my life, and you're exactly the same, most people you went to school with, you never saw again from the day you left school. The jobs that you had, people just fade away. The friends, the colleagues, the bosses, people that you once worked with, once knew, they just fade away. So it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you. Don't give a shit. It does not matter. It really does not matter. Not important. And if your job does entail a little bit of public speaking or whatever, either don't take the job in the first place, or know what you're talking about and don't give a shit. Stand up, say your bit and sit down. No problem. You can work out the shyness, because it may not be shyness. As I say, it could be anxiety. It could be that you're a bit nervous, a bit embarrassed. It could be lots of different things, really, you know. And you can work your way through it. And by putting yourself into a situation like that, it does get easier with time. It really does. One of my nephews, he's got a new job starting in January, and he's already being paid for it now. He's been paid since September, so that's really good. And they're paying him quite a lot of money to do this job. And he's taken over, essentially. He's been there for a number of years, but he's taken over from a guy who's going to retire in January. And we were on the phone and he said, what really, really worries me is I've got to have a meeting, a weekly meeting with these people. And I said, okay. I said, what's the problem? And he said, I feel so nervous and so embarrassed. I go bright red. And I said, yeah, but most people don't even notice. Most people don't notice if somebody blushes or if they're nervous or if they feel awkward or a bit embarrassed. Most people don't notice. And I said to him, most people just want to get on with their job. They know they've got to go to this meeting, so they will listen to you 5 or 10 minutes, then they go and get on with their meeting. They're not going to read you like a book. It doesn't really matter. And he said, yeah, but old so-and-so is going to retire. He's been doing it for years. And he makes them laugh sometimes. He chats away and he's full of life and energy. And I said, yeah, but you didn't see him when he was 20 you know, when he first started in that job, in that role, and he had to have a meeting, you didn't see him, and you're now where he is. In 10 years time, 20, 30 years time, things are going to be very, very different at work, very different. And you're, even in 6 weeks time after the January, you know, so by February, it'll be nothing to you. And I also said to him, you've got time now to work on yourself with this public speaking. And there's lots of self-help things out there. I'm sure there's YouTube videos, there's loads of books and all the rest of it. So if that's you, Paul, and you do feel awkward about something, give yourself some time to get used to it by reading self-help books, you know, by looking at YouTube videos, whatever. There's a couple of little tricks and things that you could do if you're sat in a meeting and you know that your time to talk is coming up soon. You can either tap your toes, say on your right foot 3 times, 1, 2, 3, then on your left, 1, 2, 3. Just tap them only in your shoe. Nobody will see, nobody will hear, and just concentrate on that tapping for a while. And you'll find with that, that'll calm the system down a little bit. The other way is to imagine that you've got bare feet and you've got 2 big holes drilled in the bottom of your feet. And through these holes comes cool air rushing up through your body, cooling and relaxing every vein, every molecule of your system calms down, cools down, quietens down. Another one is a bit of a circular breathing technique. You can just slowly breathe in, give yourself a count, 4 or 5 seconds, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, and then out for 4 or 5 seconds, and just concentrate only on your breath. It doesn't matter what's going on in the meeting, you can pick up later. And I find that most meetings, you've got the minutes, you've got the paperwork, you can read that at your leisure. So you can just concentrate on your breath. And if you continue to do that, you'll find that you do actually listen to the meeting and you can participate in the meeting because you'll feel calmer, more at peace, more relaxed. And know what you're talking about. Just know what you're talking about and things are easier. Now if you're just a generally shy person, shy at everything, you know, you don't particularly want to go to a wedding because you just feel a bit shy and a bit awkward. You don't want to do this because you feel shy. You don't want to do that if you're shy. Nothing wrong with it, actually. Nothing wrong with it. As I say, it's endearing. It's a lovely quality that some people have. Nothing wrong with it. Just accept it. Embrace it. That is part of you. And as I say, this world, we live in this world of this manic nonsense and rushing around and what have you. And you, the shy people, you are like the islands. You are like a safe haven where people can go, they can be around you and relax in your company in a quiet, peaceful manner, rather than this silliness and this falseness that goes on. So there is a lot you can do, but mostly I wouldn't even contemplate it. I wouldn't even worry about it. So what? You're shy. People worry about shyness like it's something they must get rid of. But they don't worry about being loud. They don't worry about anything else. They just worry that shyness is something they don't want. They need to get rid of it. Hang on to it, you know. If you look at somebody who can't swim and somebody who can swim, and at different times they both fall into a lake, the swimmer is shocked because he fell into the lake and a bit panicked, and he thinks, there's the edge, I'm going to swim to the edge, there's the edge, and he gets to the edge and climbs out. The non-swimmer falls in, he's shocked and very panicked that he fell in, and his brain says, I can't swim, I'm drowning, I can't swim. And that's a little bit like public speaking. That's a little bit like shyness or anxiety or the awkwardness, the embarrassment that some people feel, because the non-swimmer will keep telling himself, I can't swim, I can't swim, I can't swim, he's likely to drown. If he relaxes into it, his body will flail in some way, we could call it swimming, but he will just propel himself somehow to the edge, because it's self-preservation. The body does what the body needs to do. If you control the mind, you know, let the mind go a little bit. Okay, I can't swim, but I'm going to make my bloody way out of here. And that's exactly the same with dealing with shyness. Okay, I don't like it, but I'm going to make my way out of here. I am going to do this. And just do it. And you'll find that 99% of times, as you will have found already, things are not as bad as you think they're going to be. They never are. They never are. People worry about things that either they don't exist, they won't happen, or after it they think, well, I didn't have a lot to worry about anyway. I can remember my driving test. My teacher, my tutor, whatever you want to call him, the guy who taught me to drive, told me one little bit of information that I actually remembered on the day. And he said, don't worry, don't feel stressed, don't panic. He said, you know that you can do this, you know that you can drive. When the instructor gets in, you don't know the area, but he does. So he's just going to say to you, right, go up here, turn right, turn left, cross these lights, back round here, and then that's it. So he's going to tell you a few things. Listen to what he says and just do what he says. And your only job is to show him that you're a really good, safe and competent driver. That's it. There is no worry, there is no panic, because you are safe, you are competent, you are a good driver. You already know that. You're good today, so you're going to be good tomorrow with the instructor. It's just that you're a stranger in town and he's going to tell you, turn right, turn left, go up here and down there. That's all it is. Listen to his instruction and just show him what a good driver you are. And I remember that on the day, and it was exactly that. This guy knew the area, I didn't. This guy was telling me to turn right, turn left, stop here, reverse back there. And I just showed him that I was a really good driver. And I passed. Luckily I passed. I think I'm not bragging about that, because some people can take however many times it takes to pass. I was lucky that I passed, because I think a lot of it is luck. Everything sort of was on my side that day. But I was also on my side that day. I was just calm, peaceful, relaxed. And things are easier. If you're calm, if you're peaceful, if you're relaxed, things are easier. And that is why I think, like, tapping your toes in your feet, or imagining cool air rushing through your body, or doing your breath, or there could be lots of different things that you can do that can just bring you down a level, just into a calm place. And not to worry about anything. Like I say, don't give a shit, because things are very soon over anyway. And even if you do feel nervous, anxious, shy, embarrassed, how long is that going to last? You know, is it 5 seconds? Is it 1 minute? So what? You know, how many minutes have you lived in your life up to now, and how many minutes you can live from your life until death? You know, and in between you've got these 3 or 4 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it might be. Just let it wash over you. Really not important. The little bit of information or advice I would say is that whatever you feed grows. So if you feed your fears, they grow. So if you have a fear of public speaking, or sitting in this meeting or whatever, and if you tell yourself enough how embarrassed, how awkward, how horrible it's going to be, I'm worried, I'm panicked, day befores, you're feeding all that worry, all that fear, and it will grow, and it will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it will control you, because you either control your mind or your mind controls you. One or the other. There is no in-betweens. You control your mind, or it can control you. I control my mind. So whatever you feed grows. So why not feed something nice? Why not feed your shyness? It's okay, I'm shy, I'm quiet, I'm peaceful, I'm placid. People like to be around me. And I bet they do. I bet people enjoy your company, the quiet vibe that you've got and all the rest of it. So really, don't worry about shyness. Don't worry about it. It's endearing, it's a lovely quality. Nothing wrong with it. And it's not something to get rid of, it is just part of you. If you're going to get rid of shyness, what comes next? You know, you're going to get rid of that, and then you get rid of, what, your sense of humour, get rid of that. Get rid of your analytical thinking, get rid of that, you know. And it goes on and on and on. And who are you? You know, your shyness is part of you. It's not the whole of you, it's not all of you, and it doesn't control your life, because you should be able to control your mind, control your breathing, calm down, know that it's not going to last, know that it's soon over, and yeah, you'll get by in a quiet, gentle manner, and people will appreciate that. So don't worry, take care, thank you, and be well. Ta-da.